In 2023, black men are still being blamed for everything. And let me be honest, men play an integral role in shaping and developing communities. Leadership is very important when it comes to men sustainability and helping things progress. For that, I can't argue. Men are not perfect. But I also see something that's very interesting. Even when men are not involved, they're still being blamed for everything. And that's not right, because when women make mistakes, we never talk about it. When women make strides of success, we always praise them. Congratulations, Music Demo. That's exactly what we do. Whenever women do anything right, we love them. When men do anything right, we don't say anything. But I want to talk about a peculiar situation that's happening today. You ever heard of Tammy Rivera? She's a socialite that is married, or was formerly married, to Waka Flocka. They're now divorced. She's 36 years old, but she has a daughter that is 18 years old named Charlie. Charlie just graduated from high school. Give her a round of applause. And she graduated. She had some problems. I believe she got kicked out of the school. She had a GED, something like that. She graduated. But there's something that's interesting. You see, Tammy wore something very interesting to her graduation. It's called a negligee, not to be confused with lingerie, which is very similar. But this is a negligee. It's something that women typically wear to bed, not out for a graduation. And because of that dressing, folks on Twitter are being very critical and things like that. Now, Tammy, who has the Instagram profile of Tammy's Angel, there was a graduation party in one of Atlanta's hottest nightclubs. There were a lot of these ladies twerking all over the place, which we don't want to really show that. But at the end of the day, there's nobody complaining about this dress, right? And what happened? Why is this young lady dressing like this? But see, I wanted to talk about this video that I saw from a particular young man by the name of Psych Perspective. Now, Tammy Rivera is half Nicaraguan and half African American, so she would qualify as being a black mother. This young man is going to talk about why black mothers are problematic, and then we're going to come back.
What's good? GeoFuck Psych Perspective, and I'm back on it. Still talking about black women, black mothers. Now, I made a video back in September where I literally discussed a piece. Even though it was like 15, 16 minutes, that was just a piece. A piece. I broke you off a piece of a Kit Kat of my experience dealing with my grandmother and mother. And more specifically, dealing with my grandmother, because ultimately, my grandmother raised me with my papa. So most of my upbringing was with my grandmother, and my papa. And I just had a situation. I just got back from Detroit, and my mom was at the house, and we talked for a minute in the carport. But even my mom don't even want to deal with my grandmother, which is her mother, because we all know how my grandmother is. Okay. And this goes back to what I said in the video that I made back in September. Oftentimes in the black community, it's always, white people, white supremacy, racism, the black man, the nigga ain't shit, da-da-da-da-da, deadbeat, da-da-da-da-da. But nobody ever talks about black women and black mothers and mother figures, aunts and aunties and grandmothers, sisters, who are just as toxic, just as problematic, just as narcissistic, just as out of control, as all of the other people, i.e. the black man and white people and racism. Black women play a major role in the demise of the black community, okay? They are not damsels in distress. They are not, I feel like, again, stop putting them on pedestals, because when you put them on pedestals, we'll sit up here and basically justify this shitty, trashy treatment that a lot of us have to deal with when it comes to these black women. Now, granted, are all black women like this? No. Are all black mothers or mother figures horrible? No. That is not everybody's case. That is not everybody's story. I am not trying to generalize or make it seem like all black mothers are toxic, because that's not the case. I know there are good black mothers out here. I see, like, I was just over my friend's house seeing his mother and the way his mother is with him and his siblings. Like, she loves them and supports them. She speaks to them correctly with respect and love. And it just, I'm gonna be honest, when I go and I see people who have, you know, respectful, functioning relationships, you know, with their loved ones, it's always, it's nice to see, but it's still, there's a tinge of jealousy that I get, because I wish I had that type of relationship with my mother.
Now, this young man is talking about his anecdotal experience. And for many of us, we can either somehow align with what he's talking about based on somebody that we know or in somebody's family. And he also said that, hey, this is not representative of all black women. But I did realize something, that this lady, Charlie Rivera, who's 18, is acting just like Tammy Rivera. If you don't believe it, let's just look at some of Tammy Rivera's pictures. And yeah, Tammy Rivera, as a 36-year-old woman, dresses very provocatively. She has the booty pictures, the butt shots. She's also married to Waka Flocka, who's not like maybe the nicest guy in the world, right? But if you look at Tammy Rivera, Tammy Rivera met her father when she was 14. The father was in prison for 30 years. Look at that background. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that whatever happens with these young ladies is systemic. So she got pregnant at a young age, at 18. Her mother made a mistake with choosing the wrong man. And then look at how it affects her daughter, Tammy Rivera. The mother or the daughter is pretending to do the same things that the mother is doing. So how do you expect when she gets with a man or with a black man that he's going to be able to deal with her? And that is the issue, right? Again, we don't want to call these things out in black America, because if you're a man talking about this, hey, what are you going to say? You hate women, you're being problematic. No, it's like, look, this young lady wearing a negligee, twerking at her high school party. You know what I'm saying? And she's doing everything the mom has always been doing, because the mom is making it okay. Then if young women don't get respect from black men, you're going to be upset. But the reality is, a lot of times, nobody has taught these women. It's a big important thing, right? Nobody has taught these women anything about how to be prepared for a man to take them seriously. Almost nobody. When they come across these particular young women, hey, that's what's going to go on. I hate to say it. And this is a problem. I can understand black men not being there, but hey, she got married to Waka Flocka. Obviously, she likes men of a certain ilk. She likes men of a certain type, and these aren't the builder men. And obviously, she doesn't like men that can give her infrastructure. So the daughter is not gonna like men that give them infrastructure. You see, when these women that are young, they come across good black men, builder black men, they're gonna call them corny. You wanna know why they're gonna call those guys corny? Because that's what their mother has taught them. Their mom has taught them, you need to go ahead and deal with Pookie and Ray Ray. So when they become single moms, they want to blame everybody else for their issues. But their moms teach them how to do this. A lot of sisters, they learn this from their mom. The bonnet wearing negligee at graduation, doing all kind of crazy stuff, the bad behavior, the twerking. I mean, you even see little kids going to school dressed like that, doing little crazy things like that. Who taught them? The mom taught them. Stop blaming black men for what their moms taught them. Their moms taught them how to do this. When these young men talk about, I can't deal with sisters anymore, I can't deal with black women, I want to date black women no more, guess who taught them? Because they picked certain guys that would not ever be able to contribute in any kind of way. Who did we blame then? Everything is not black men's fault, all right? We're not going to be able to sit here and every time something happens in the black America, when these women have the freedom of association, the freedom to do what they want, how can you blame black men? And then when you have young women that, hey, a lot of these guys are not going to find value in selecting because of how they've been trained, how they act, whose fault will that be? Whose problem would that be? And we all know that y'all don't want to talk about it because it's too real. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all of you serving the bell. We're out.